Hey guys, if you like podcasts, if you're interested in any sort of training advice or stories and stuff from my competing and whatever else that I went on in the gym and whatever, I'm doing a podcast every week on Patreon. The link is in the description.
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Bodybuilding Mountain. And in a recent video, I talked about upper chest training, and a couple comments were made. Lots of people talked about their different suggestions or things that they do in order to activate their upper chest. And one of the exercises I never highlighted that much because I thought it was a little too obvious was the incline fly, right? So there's flat flies, there's incline flies, and the way I perform a fly is more like a hybrid sort of fly. And the reason for this is that when I fly with straighter arms, of course I always keep them slightly bent no matter what, but when I fly with straighter arms, I notice that I get a lot more shoulder activation. So of course the answer to this is to do a combination of a fly or press type movement. It's still an arcing type movement, but it's not necessarily a straight press. And of course, the positioning of the palms is supinated, so therefore I'm getting a little bit of a different activation also in the chest. So what I did today as a starter is about 3 sets of moderately heavy weight on the bench with 275. And then after performing those 3 sets, then I went to more of a finishing type movement, such as the incline fly. Now, I really enjoy this movement right now because sometimes I'll fall out of love with the movement and then I'll fall back in love with it, and I'll go through these enamored sort of stages where I start to do an exercise quite a bit and then you don't see me do the exercise forever. I don't know why that is. It just seems to happen. You might have that happen to you too, where you have favorite exercises that seem to rotate. But today I was doing the incline fly, and as you can notice from these clips, I'm keeping the arms bent quite a bit, right? So some people would say, oh, that's almost like a press except for your palms are facing inwards. But because of the arcing motion, it's actually not. It is more so of a hugging the barrel type of maneuver. So it is really classified as a fly, but I'm going to call it a hybrid fly because it does look a lot like a press. So as I come in, you'll notice that I then straighten the arms more and get that chest squeeze at the top, right? But I don't come too far in, because if I come too far in, then I take the tension off the chest altogether. But from doing this movement, I find that I do get quite a bit of a stretch and a tension in the upper chest. And then as a finisher, after doing as many repetitions as I can, I will change to a direct press. So it's like a pre-exhaust giant set where you're doing the flies or the hybrid flies as many as you can, and then you go right into the press. And that's kind of the neat part about the dumbbells. So sometimes I'll do this just because I feel like I can actually just push that little area into a deeper level of failure, but I can't necessarily perform any more flies. And from doing this, I get a massive pump. So it's kind of a good sort of idea. Now, I know a lot of you guys have probably done this, but once in a while, in your fly type movements, if you want to take that set into a deeper level of failure, just change from flies right to press just to finish off a couple reps at the end of the set. As long as you can safely do so, it's a great way of pushing that muscle into a deeper level of exhaustion. Mountain. One of the keys is, though, in a fly is to stretch the muscle out, but not rest on the joint at the bottom. And sometimes there is that urge to rest. And I know I was talking to a guy a while ago, and he was doing that resting type of idea when he was doing a dumbbell pullover, and he popped his shoulder out a bit. So you got to make sure that you keep it tense on the way down, and make sure that you're keeping the shoulders, the biceps, like everything tense to make sure that you're keeping the joint together. And don't relax right at the bottom, because that will start to pull at your labrum or start to tweak some of the tendons and stuff in there. So that's really the big thing to watch out for. Also, don't feel like you have to come down so low that you're overstretching the front delts. That's another mistake a lot of people make. If they come down too low, they start to tweak the shoulders and not necessarily get any extra stretch in the chest, right? So you want to stretch the muscle, but you don't want to pop the joint out, obviously. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, I hope this helped you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain. Natural